We're in the Uber. I'm thinking, you know, we're gonna be in the Uber about 5 minutes and then we're gonna be at their house. Hell no. We're in the Uber, 10 minutes pass by. I'm like, okay. 20 minutes pass by. Okay. 30 minutes pass by. Where the hell are they taking us? Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Jazz and I'm back today with another video. Throwing out a quick disclaimer. The only reason why I'm wearing glasses throughout this video is because I messed up my eye makeup. I'm not lifting that back up to show you guys either. I tried to do a wing liner and I ended up taking it all the way over like here, and then I tried to fix it with concealer, and then it's just a hot smeared mess. And I'm just not a person that's about to wash my whole face off to redo a look for a video, so we're just gonna do this with glasses and we're gonna jump into the story time. Now today's story time video is going to be about my second time that I went out with these group of girls that work out with my mom. It's not really crazy, but it's just like very dangerous, and I also want to give a message at the end of this video that will go along with the story time. So let's just jump into it. So for starters, it started out as my typical Saturday night. I normally drink wine, watch YouTube or Netflix, or watch other people's lives on Snapchat. That's normally my routine. So I was going through this routine, and my mom came downstairs in the middle of it, and she could sense that something was wrong. So she asked, Jazz, what's wrong? I'm like, I feel like I live a boring life and I'm always doing the same things. Like, I just want some adventure. So she was like, well, just hit up those girls that you went out with before that worked with me and just see what they're doing tonight and try to find something to do. So I did that. I hit them up. They ended up having to move or having something to do that night, and I clearly wasn't doing anything, so I was totally down for it. And I got to their house probably around 11 o'clock, and from there, from her house, we ended up going to a bar that was like 2 feet away or whatever. It cost $5 to get in, but they didn't have $5. They had to take out cash. So the people that like was taking the cash just told them to leave their license with them while they go to the ATM to take out cash inside the bar. Now, I don't see why you would tell somebody to do that knowing damn well all your ATMs are out of service. So we ended up having to leave, go to an ATM outside on the corner, which is not safe. Don't do that, because I just feel like that's how people's like credit stuff and all that gets hacked into, like your bank account and stuff. But they were in the mix of taking cash out. Also, I'm not going to give out their real names just because I don't want to drag them into this, and I'm also a little frantic about telling this story, just because I don't want them feeling like I'm bashing them or I didn't have a good time or whatever. But anyways, so we're gonna name her Rachel or Brittany and Rachel. Those are going to be the names in this story time. So Brittany was taking out cash. Rachel was talking about how bad the bar was and how she wasn't feeling the scene and how she wanted to go to this club called Porta here in Jersey. Brittany was like, I'm totally fine with the bar. It was cool. It was a nice little vibe. They're like, Jazz, what do you think? I'm like, I'm down for whatever. I'm just glad you guys invited me out to come with you. I don't really know Jersey, so I'm just happy to be at the house, really. So Brittany kept going on and on how she hated the club, blah, blah, blah. She wanted to go to Porta. All right, so we get an Uber. I feel like some current events that happened in that night were all leading to how this was going to be like a crazy bad night or just a weird one of those nights, you know? So the Uber came. It was a little ranky-dank. I've never been in an Uber that was like a hoopty before. So we were kind of like, you're the Uber driver? And he was like, yeah, okay, whatever. It was very quiet. Nobody was talking in the Uber. I'm also a very awkward person when I first hang out with people. I don't really know what to talk about. I'm really more so of an observer. I observe first because I don't want to give too much of my personality and I scare you away. So I tend to kind of be standoffish, which is something I need to work on, but I tend to be standoffish. Like I'm not interested, I'm not having a good time, when really I'm just nervous as crap. So on my end, that's why I wasn't talking, because they were having their two little conversations and I didn't know anything about that. So, fam, whatever. So we pull up to the club. This one guy kept looking at Brittany and I'm like, why does he keep looking at her? He must know her or whatever. And then Brittany and Rachel kept hee hee ha ha with each other. So I'm kind of feeling like a third wheel. This is why we're waiting in the line to go into the club. So when we get to the front of the club, you know, because I have a license that isn't turned sideways, they want 2 licenses. So I had my license and I had my military ID. Check that. Boom. Good. Then when it comes to like, you know, metal detector you or whatever, they're like, oh, you have to lose the hat. I'm like, what? See, like this is the second event. I knew it was gonna be a bad night when I had to lose the hat. Mind you, I've never been to a real club before. I've always only been to bars. So this may be something that I should have known, but I really had no idea. But I had to lose my hat. I needed a haircut. Yes, I know I have no hair, but at the time I really needed a haircut. I did not have my brush, so my little frillies and stuff is all over the place. So I'm like pissed. And then too, it was my favorite hat ever. It was a navy blue New York Yankees hat. I wear the hat with literally everything. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely not about to be drinking tonight. I'm definitely not about to be turning up. All I'm thinking about is when this night is over with, how I'm gonna get my hat back. So when we walk into the club, I go straight to the bathroom. I'm like, oh hell no, you ain't about to catch me on no bad days. So I'm trying to like finesse something with my hair with some water. Also, this was a really nice club. They had like, I guess, what is it called? Somebody in the bathroom servicing us. So she was in there kind of like laughing at me, trying to like do something to my hair. But I was trying to throw something together. Brittany and Rachel ended up coming in there as well, you know, checking their bodies out. You know how girls do. We look at our booties, see if it's popping, blah, blah, blah. So we go out to the club. The club has 2 different rooms. So we go out to the bar in the second room to go get our drinks. Everybody got cranberry vodka. That was fine. That was cool. We went out on the dance floor. These girls are literally, like, for one, the club feels like a party scene or like a party in a movie. It just doesn't feel real to me because the way everybody's like dancing and stuff, it's like they're high off life. Like they're all high. I don't know. Even like them, like the way they dance and like listen to the music and like bump and stuff, it's like they're really, really into it. And it's like this techno music too. It's like techno but hip-hoppy but R&B, but then it goes to some pop. But it all sounds techno-y, but they're all loving it. And I'm over here just sipping my drink, you know, doing my 2-step because once again, I'm awkward and I'm waiting for this little liquor, whatever, alcohol to kick in a little bit so I can loosen up some. So I gobbled down my drink. Cranberry vodkas don't do anything to me. I think because I drank so many of them in college, it's just like cranberry juice for me. So we ended up getting another drink, or I told them I was going to get another. They didn't have to come with me because I was totally fine, but they decided to follow along with me, I guess, because, you know, you got to stick together. Also in this time, I'm really like feeling like, dang, I really miss my friends because I know how we are when we go out. And maybe that kind of holds me back too with new friends, is because I compare a lot to how I am with my own friends that I already have. And I'm like, oh, you know, but I don't know, something I gotta work on too. It's a lot of things I gotta work on. But we go to get another drink. And in the other room, they started dancing, but then they saw like these other group of friends that they knew. So they're over there, hee hee ha ha with them. And I'm just off on the wall, just sipping my drink, doing my 2-step once again. And when we get ready to walk away, this guy like taps me and I look around, blah, blah, blah. Keep in mind, I had already saw him peeping me and I was slick kind of peeping him, but I'm not bold enough to go up and just talk to a guy. Just be like, if you want to talk to me, he'll talk to me. If you don't, he don't, whatever. But he ended up tapping me and I turned around like happy, like, okay, so he talked to your girl, okay. But then he asked me about them. He was like, oh, do your friends have any boyfriends? So now I'm like, am I the Duff in this? Am I the Duff? If you've ever seen the movie Duff, go watch it. But basically a Duff is like the ugly friend out of all of them, and it's like the approachable friend. And he's asking me about them. So I'm like, am I the Duff? And I'm like, no, they don't have any boyfriends. And I like shut him off and walk away. And so then we go to the other room and we're dancing and stuff. And then like there was a stage in there and these girls had just got down or whatever. So Rachel and Brittany take it upon themselves to go up and dance on the stage. I'm not that kind of chick. I don't do that. I don't care how much alcohol in my system. I ain't dancing on nobody's stage because I just don't do that. I don't know. It just is weird for me, and yeah, I just don't do that. And I'm kind of slick, don't have rhythm sometimes. So I ain't trying to let the whole world see that. But while I'm standing off on the outskirts. I'm trying to look cool or whatever, so I'm like on my phone like I'm really doing something, but I'm really not. It's horrible service in there, so none of the Snapchats are loading, nothing on my Instagram's loading, like nothing. So I'm just looking at stuff on Instagram, and the guy that tapped me ended up coming up behind me. He was like, oh yeah, you should follow me on Instagram or whatever. So I'm like, all right, well, what's your Instagram name? He gives it to me. He asks me questions like, have I been there for a while? Or have I visited the club a lot? I'm like, oh no, you know, I'm new to Jersey. I don't really know this city like that. I'm just out with them, you know, just trying to get out and mingle or whatever. So he's real cool. We're talking. And then we ended up somehow breaking apart. Rachel and Brittany got off the stage and we went to the dance floor once again, dancing. They're dancing like they're high off life, and I'm just two-stepping still. And then Brittany, she sees someone that she knows, this white guy. So her and this white guy start dancing. Keep in mind, Rachel, what's her name? Rachel? Yeah, Rachel is black as well. And Brittany is Hispanic. So Brittany also sees someone she also knows, and he's white as well. This is basically like a white club, really, if you haven't caught the hint, but it's a white club. So, and the guy that tapped me was black. So they're like, you know, bumping and grinding all night with them. I'm like, okay. Old buddy ends up coming back around. He tries to dance with me. I kind of shut him off like, hey, no, bro, it ain't that kind of party. But then eventually I'm just like, okay, whatever, F it. I'm just going to dance with him. So I start dancing with him throughout the night. Then comes the end of the night, you know, to turn the club lights on or whatever, and it's time to go. Right after that, you already know I went straight to my hat. I'm trying to go grab my hat real quick before somebody try to steal my stuff. And Brittany is effed up at this time. She's gone. And she's talking about how she wants to go home with the guy that she was dancing with all night. Rachel was like, are you effing crazy? Like, no. She was like, it's 3 of them and 1 of you, because he had 2 other friends with him. So she's like, basically saying, you don't know they could like rape you or something, and you're drunk. You know, you're really down for whatever at this moment because you're drunk. So, Rachel told her no. We pulled up the Uber, got an Uber. She's talking to the guy, Brittany's talking to the guy on the phone, and he's telling her how he's going to this place called Centerfold. Centerfold is a strip club. So she tells the Uber driver to reroute himself and go to Centerfold. We pull up to this ranky-dank strip club. I actually don't know if it's ranky-dank, but it looked ranky-dank from outside. We find him. Then they're yelling out that the cover is $25 to get in. I ain't got $25 to get into the club. She ain't got $25, nor does Rachel. So, nor does he, because at first we thought he was going to pay for all of us. So he didn't even have that. So he was like, all right, let's go to our house. What? Excuse me? Let's go to your house. See, that's stuff I would be down for in college, because I know you, I've seen you, you know, but in real world, that just doesn't sound safe to me. Some random dude that you met at the club with his 2 friends, 3 of us, 3 of them. What does that sound like to you? Don't that sound like they were trying to make some shake? Like they was trying to menage or something? Is that the right word, menage? You know what I mean? They were trying to all hook up or something or whatever. So Brittany, drunk, says, okay. And I'm not trying to be a party pooper, but I am, however, texting buddy that I met from the club and telling him, like sending him my location, telling him where we're going, telling him how I don't feel safe, how something about this just did not feel right. So when the Uber comes up, I'm like, how are we all about to fit in here? Because I'm not sitting on anybody's lap. And was like, she'll sit on my lap. I'm like, cool, because I'm not doing that. I ain't trying to provoke nobody. So she sits on my lap. We're in the Uber. I'm thinking, you know, we're going to be in the Uber about 5 minutes and then we're going to be at their house. Hell no. We're in the Uber. 10 minutes pass by. I'm like, okay. 20 minutes pass by. Okay. 30 minutes pass by. Where the hell are they taking us? Okay. So I'll say maybe like 35 minutes. 35 minutes, we finally pull up to their house. They stayed in this nice neighborhood. It was a big old house, but I honestly think Billy snuck us in. I don't think that was Billy's house. I think Billy lived with his mama still, which is nothing's wrong with that, because I sure can't talk. I still obviously live with my folks, but I don't sneak people in. But he was like, shh, like telling us to be quiet or whatever. So we go in, we go down to the basement. He asks us like, does anybody else want anything to drink? They had like Malibu or whatever. At this point, I'm still texting Buddy. I done sent him my location officially once we got to the spot. Keep in mind too, I don't know this dude that I'm texting either. I just met him this night, like that night. But he was like literally my only hope. I mean, I could have texted my mom and stuff, but I didn't want them to worry. And my mom already knows this story, so don't worry. She knows the story. My sister knows the story. They all heard it, so they already know the story. But I texted my location, which is dangerous too, because I don't know his last name. I barely could remember his first name. And he pulls up. And I'm like, Rachel, Brittany, he's here. He also came too, because he was like, so y'all don't have to get an Uber. He was like, I'll just take y'all back to her crib or whatever, so you can go back home. So I'm like, cool. So I'm like, Brittany, Rachel, you know, he's outside. He's here to come get us or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, you know, we'll be there. And also Brittany is like, oh, I'm gonna F him tonight. I'm so gonna F him tonight. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go outside. So I go outside, talking to Buddy in his car. We're kind of set and we're vibing out, listening to music, all that good stuff. And before you know it, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. And we probably pulled up to Billy's house maybe around like 2. And I'm like, okay, well, let me call them. I'm calling and blowing up Brittany's phone, and she's not answering at all. And I'm like really paranoid type of chick, so I always think the worst, even if it's not that. So I'm like, what if they raped them? What if they roofied them? I don't know. I'm just thinking the worst. But one thing I did know was I was not about to ring that ding dong, and I was not about to knock, and I was not about to go back in that house. So Buddy was like, well, at least they could see you try. And it was probably like 6 o'clock that morning, and he ended up driving me back to the truck, and I ended up coming back home. But when I was telling my mom this story, I was just like, it sounds so dangerous, like what I did. For one, getting in an Uber with 3 guys we did not know, going to their house that we did not know. I thank God that I was not drunk and I was coherent, because had I been drunk, Lord knows that night could have played out totally different. Also with me hitting up a stranger and sending a stranger my location was also very dangerous too. And I know better in the future that instead of worrying, I guess, about people who I don't really know, at the end of the day I have to worry about myself. And I really should have left their ass when I was at the club. I mean at the strip club is when I really should just got myself an Uber and rode it back to the truck instead of riding with them, because I could have easily eliminated those 2 factors right off the rip. But at the time, I can say that it just felt more safe to be with old Buddy than it felt to be with the 3 guys. And I thank God for having a hold on my safety and making sure that I made it back to the house. But I just want to say the message in this is, when you're going out with new people, I suggest not drinking. And if you are going to drink, maybe 1 drink, but don't let it be like anything strong. But really, don't drink. You want to be very coherent, because you don't really know if people have your best interests at heart and if they really are going to look out for you. So you have to look out for yourself, and just be very aware of your surroundings, and just don't get yourself caught in a situation like I did. But once again, I thank God nothing happened. But that being said, that is the end of this story time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.